Welcome to Same Cast, Different Day podcast. I am Martel Rowland. Old Man Theater is here, and we got some stuff to talk to y'all about today. They go Old Man Theater. Or I switched the views so y'all can see Old Man Theater.
Ooh.
Now, what the hell did you done? What is going on?
I'm burning myself.
Well, you better not be burning at your age.
Hey, no, not that way.
I am just saying, you better not be doing it at your age. So,
you right. I buy not.
So, ladies and gentlemen, to kick things off, as of right now, this reporting, there are 57 people who are confirmed dead in the attack on the Ukraine by Russia. And a lot of people are trying to figure out, like, hey, why is this going on? What's happening? Why is Putin doing this? So as y'all guys can see behind me on my screen, this is Russia right here. He invaded the Ukraine. The Ukraine is under Russia. And this is some of the places where he had, I guess, Russian militants set up to do for this attack or whatever. So there's been talks that he already bombed like airports and stuff like that. And some people are saying the reason why Putin is doing this is just for the simple fact that he's trying to bring back the Soviet Union, which ended in 1991, if for you who guys who don't know. So could this lead to another world war? I don't know. President Joe Biden has already put sanctions on Russia as far as him going forward with these attacks. We know Russia is a has a what's is it alliance, or they're friends with like the America, London, and some Germany, some other places. So my prayers is with everybody that's over in the Ukraine. I know that your government completely just abandoned y'all and left y'all there to basically get killed or whatever happens to y'all. I'm so sorry that is happening to y'all over there. Hopefully it don't lead to this, don't get no worse than what this situation already has gotten. So our thoughts are with all of you over there in the Ukraine. Hopefully you all stay safe over there.
He been threatening to do something like this for a minute, ain't he?
Yeah, so he been threatening to do it for a while. He kept on saying that they were doing military like exercises and stuff like that. And then he kept on saying that he had no plans on attacking Ukraine. And then as of last night, he basically called for the attack on the Ukraine. So, and then before, like a few weeks ago, the Ukrainian government basically abandoned its people and left the country. So I don't know if there's any police. I don't know who's there defending these people. I don't know who's over there protecting or who's keeping order. I have no idea how anything is being ran in that country over the last few weeks. It's crazy.
Then Biden sent some of our people over there.
That I don't know. I don't know if he's done it yet. Hopefully, I don't know. I feel like if he do, then it's gonna cause for a war between America and Russia. And I think he's doing his best right now to not call for an attack on Russia at this point, to stop for just to prevent all our war happening. In which right now, no country can afford to be in a war. Except for Russia. Apparently they don't care about their people or finances, but yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
So,
and nobody really knows the reason why, or he's not really saying.
I don't think he's really said the reason why. Some people are just trying to just predicting that it's all because he's trying to bring back the Soviet Union, which where Russia mostly had control over Ukraine. And in 1991, Ukraine kind of parted, separated themselves from Russia and became their own country, basically, or territory. I don't know what it's called.
So
they became unreliant on Russia, basically. Russia, and I guess some people say Russia was reliant on the Ukraine, or sources that was in Ukraine. We don't exactly know, but there was a war back in 1991 where a lot of other countries butted in, and then it put an end to the ties between Russia and Ukraine, where Ukraine basically saying, "Hey, we done with y'all. We all go your way, we go our way." And it's been like that since 1991.
But however you say his name is, he's trying to do this so he can be kind of like in charge of there too.
Yes. So he's trying to make it. I guess from what it seems like, he's trying to make it like how it was back when the Ukraine was part of Russia, or they had their whole little whatever's going on back then. Is what I'm thinking Putin is trying to do.
Just take control.
Yeah, no, those. I guess those was the good old days to him. I guess.
Be the great God.
So whoever's watching on YouTube, yeah, you didn't type that in English, and then it says Vom Red. I don't know what you mean by that. So if you can, like, I don't know. I have no idea what you're saying over there. But
ain't nobody from Ukraine or somewhere, is it?
I have no idea. It doesn't tell me, but thoughts are with you, Ukraine. Hopefully you guys get through this. So, Old Man Theater. Well, what's been going on with you today? You ain't had no outside of work shenanigans. Everything is good.
Yeah. Well, just got some rough news about. That's what took me so long on getting on. But I got to check into some tomorrow.
Okay.
Not good, but it's life. It's life. So once we get you put away in the home, we'll be all right.
Oh, God, really?
Hey, you guys that's listening in too, I mean, old man there just became old.
I'm not that old. What do you mean?
We're looking for, if anybody know anything out there, any place out there where we can, me and his mom can have him committed, we would love to hear from you. So just saying, I mean, he needs a place. He's getting a little forgetful, a little old, and look great too. He just keep dyeing his beard and stuff like that. So he's getting a little gray.
I am not forgetful or old. And then on top,
you said, a hoe. Oh, okay.
I did not say nothing about a hoe. What did you?
Okay.
I said I am not forgetful or old.
Okay.
That means your senior moments.
That's what you saying, but we know better.
You know what? This is why don't nobody want to put you deal with you. This is why every time I turn around, somebody trying to put you in a home.
No, just you. It's just you and ain't everybody else.
Oh, you sure?
I'm positive.
Oh,
it's just you.
I didn't know it was just me.
But yeah, it was kind of a rough day today, but I got through it.
You ain't have to slap a bitch, did you?
Not a bitch, but it got pretty close.
Oh Lord. I'm trying to pull up this next thing for y'all, and I thought I saved it.
Did the person ever print out what they was trying to say?
Oh no, but Deshaun just right there. What up, Deshaun? How's it going? What up, fool? What up, fool?
I sent him the link. Click in. Holla.
So I'm trying. See, this is just a new thing that I'm trying, y'all, and it's not working. I don't know what's going on. So to move things along, Sherry Shepherd, was to say Wendy Williams production got canceled. So this is the final season of Wendy Williams coming up. She has officially been canceled. Sherry Shepherd will be replacing Wendy Williams in her current time slot on Fox with her own TV show. And it's crazy because Wendy has not said anything about this. I guess we should have known this when she no longer had control over her Twitter account. I mean, her Instagram account that says Wendy Show. Wendy no longer has control over that. She was making comments and stuff for videos from another Instagram account or whatever. And so if y'all who ain't been paying attention, Sherry Shepherd has been guest hosting on the Wendy Williams show for quite some time, a few weeks on while Wendy been out. And now that Wendy's been sick and all this stuff been coming out about Wendy, saying she's lost her mind, she's showing early signs of dementia. There's all these rumors and stuff that was coming out about Wendy. And now staff or the production staff on her on the Wendy Williams show saying that she was very hard to work with. She would throw stuff at people. She was very mean to people. So it's all this stuff that's been coming out about Wendy since she's been sick or whatever. So it's like, do you want to believe?
She's been in rehab.
No, she ain't been in rehab or nothing. She's just been
That's
at home.
what they say. Yeah.
No, the whole time she's been gone, she's just been at home. Like now she's down in Florida because that's where her mom. Well, when her mom was alive, her mom lived down in Florida, but her father's still alive, so I believe he's down there, and her son might go to school down there. So she's been in Florida just all this for this time, trying to get her health back together or whatnot, and it just feel like it makes me wonder if Sherry Shepherd was plotting this. Like was Sherry Shepherd leaking these stories? Was Sherry Shepherd the one putting this stuff out about Wendy? Sherry Shepherd, you got some explaining to do.
All she gonna do is pop up and say that damn Hennessy.
Yeah, she got some explaining to do. Okay, for some of y'all, I don't know what boom rent is. I don't know. Y'all gonna have to speak English. I'm so sorry for those of you watching on YouTube live. Because I don't know what that says. But damn it, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so it just really makes me wonder: did Sherry Shepherd really just plot this? Like, yeah, I'm gonna trash talk Wendy and get her fired from her own show and then replace her, because since I got fired off The View and people like me doing her show, I should just take over her show. And I wonder if it's gonna be an exact replica of Wendy's show.
But wasn't they so-called friends?
Yes. So now I bet this got her making Wendy wonder trust. Like, now I can't trust anybody no more now.
Well, the thing about it is, if she was out the door, whether it was this woman or the next person, it was gonna be somebody.
True. But they said I think it's called Dunbar or something like that, who was like the production company or whatever. I guess the people who does the Wendy show. So
that's same people that hang with Moneybag, ain't it?
What?
Dunbar Production.
Something like that. It's something like that.
Moneybag.
So they the ones, I guess, who's in charge of whether the show goes on to get canceled, whatever. I guess they the ones who financed the Wendy Williams show. And they were saying that they were already looking to cancel the show. It was rumored, this is rumored, that they were looking to cancel the show. And it was another show that they had, I forgot the person name, but they had tested out a show with him. I think it lasted like a week and got canceled. So that's the only reason why the Wendy Williams show stayed on. So now they said that production company was already seeking to replace the Wendy Williams show as if already. So I don't know. It's a lot. This is a big messy story. It's just a big mess, and we need to get to the bottom of this. Wendy, you need to come tell your side of the story. You need to come tell what's going on. You need to come out of hide and retirement, whatever it is that you're doing. We need to know what is going on with Wendy Williams.
It's called Hollywood.
Yeah, true. Like it seems like everything has gone downhill since she divorced her husband when he was taking all her money and then bought the other bitch a house and all that shit. Yeah. Everything went downhill for Wendy. Poor Wendy.
Long as she don't come and stick up for herself in that damn tax outfit.
What? Oh, you was so damn stupid. I had to think about it. You was so damn Uh-oh. He don't heard something. Is it the power of the Christmas tree?
Just a minute. I'll be right back.
Old Man Theater was tweaking, y'all. Old Man Theater was tweaking for a moment. But
Yeah, I thought they was gone, but I guess not.
but ladies and gentlemen, before we get a little bit too far, I want to talk about somebody. I'm gonna get his picture up for y'all. There we go. So ladies and gentlemen, this is Justin JB. So I had the pleasure of having a chat with him and talking with him on a few weeks ago. He is releasing a comic book that is written by him. He had his friends that helped him illustrate it and get it out there. They have a Kickstarter going on right now that they did reach their goal. So now they're just trying to hit stretch goals, which means for each stretch goal that they reach, the more free stuff they give out with the comic book. And then if you go and donate to the Kickstarter, you get the comic book. I believe for like $45 or $25, I'm not sure, you get the comic book plus all 4 different covers that come with the comic book, and then whatever the stretch goals that came along with it. So make sure y'all head over to Kickstarter and check that out. So without further ado, this is Justin, aka I messed that up, y'all. And I'm not editing it out because we're not really that edited over here. So I'm gonna try this again. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Justin, aka JB from Tales for the Podcast. Here you go. And there go Old Man Theater fixing his old man camera. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a legend in the making here on the podcast. We have Justin from Tales of the Podcast here with us. Justin, thank you for joining us on this episode.
Oh man, thank you, Martel. I greatly appreciate you having me, man. I'm excited to see what the show's gonna bring.
So first, I want to start off with Tales from the Podcast. I had until I listened to your podcast, I had no idea that Tales from the Crypt was a TV show. Because I remember my brother watching the movie, but I never knew that there was an actual TV show until I listened to your podcast.
Wow, I'm actually super deep into it, and well, I'm sure you can personally see it behind you, but I have all the comic books from the 50s, which is how it actually started.
Wow.
And like this mask is the one from the TV show. This is the same character from the other, but I got all 7 seasons. Yeah, not only was it a TV show that lasted 7 seasons, but there's many comic books over 5 years that were done over EC, from 1950 to 1955. They're the actual reason that the comic code got in place. So it's because a lot of their horror stuff that was going on that kind of started an uproar back in the 50s, to say the least. But yeah, they did 3 movies with the HBO Tales from the Crypt Keeper, Crypt Keeper, and then they also did 2 Amicus films in the early 70s as well, which were also Tales from the Crypt based things. There was also 2 TV spin-offs that were going to happen, but they ended up failing and became Tales from the Crypt episodes. There was also a game show for kids called Crypt Keeper's Haunted House. And there was also the Saturday morning cartoon called The Tales from the Crypt Keeper. They've done quite a bit with the properties, to say the least.
I had no idea all that existed off of Tales from the Crypt. I'm like mind blown right now. So
yeah, I'm a little bit of a fan.
I've noticed that when you had brought up that because I believe I was listening to one of your episodes. I forgot the guy name that you had on there, but he was mentioning that you guys came. Well, I don't know if he came across a script that you guys had read that was like an unfilmed episode of Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, I actually got a few of them. To say the least, like every comic book from Tales from the Crypt had 3 to 5 actual stories in it. And even though there's, like 93 episodes of Tales from the Crypt and then the cartoon and everything, they maybe touched 30%, if that, of the actual stories in the comic books. So there's a lot of stories that actually never got made for TV or film. So yeah, there was a lot of them that were written, but yeah, I actually think I have maybe about 4 or 5 of the scripts at the moment that haven't been released or never were made, if you will.
That's great. So how do you guys come across getting these scripts?
Just friends of friends, people in the community. I got a large amount of friends that are all very, very heavily into EC Comics and Tales from the Crypt. So we've kind of networked together and kind of support each other along a lot of it. Like there was just the court case involving a lot of it, and all of us were talking in between each other to try to figure out all the details, and
Mhm.
so it's just mostly about networking with other people that have the same interests.
Okay. So and then so when I was also listening to your podcast, I learned that there was a huge Tales from the Crypt community out there. I'm like, and for this show to have ended so long ago and yet still have such a large fan base, and I'm amazed that you actually brought this to the front. Like, I don't know how you put this in your mind. Like, hey, I'm gonna do a podcast on this where people can learn because you're the first that I know of to do something like this.
Well, there are a few others. I can say that I'm one of the first ones to actually do, reviews of the shows with comparisons to the comic book. I know nowadays there's a couple more that have adapted that same kind of, process, but there are very few of us, not very many, but I mean, I've been podcasting for a while now, but I actually started off just doing horror films, and then I was like, I want to do something else, and it turned into Tales from the Podcast, which I was such a huge fan of EC Comics and Tales from the Crypt that I had to do something else. But it's been quite the journey so far. I mean, I think here in a couple of months will be my 4-year mark.
Oh wow, congrats on that.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
So I was reading because speaking of movies and stuff, so I saw that you made some appearances on a TV show or a few TV shows. You dibbled and dabbed in a little of the filming world. So
Yeah, yeah.
how did you get into that? Like, how did that all start?
Well, that's actually a funny story because some of it is good, some of it is bad.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, I mean, you live and learn, and sometimes you don't know people until it's too late.
True.
But one of the shows I was able to do some stuff on, and I'm assuming you're talking about like the IMBD credits. Um,
It was that, and I forgot the other one. I was just looking at it.
right. Well, one of the shows I was able to work on was the Malvolia Queen of Screams, where I was able to do a little bit of cinematography as well as writing and acting. And the person who actually plays the main character in that series called Malvolia, her name is Jen Nangle. Great friend of mine. She actually has a project on Indiegogo right now doing one of her features called Body Count, which is great. She's an amazing, amazing actress. But she let me go ahead and write something for her and do everything. And she liked it enough where we were able to actually produce it and turn it into something for, to be aired. And that was awesome. The other projects and everything was a lot of the paranoia tapes, which unfortunately I was involved with this really, really shady producer. And I didn't know it at the time. Some of the stuff, if you look up the movies, you'll see it's Jack Hunter's this, and that's the guy. But he ended up doing some pretty bad things that I don't really care for. And I ended up losing all association with him as well as everything that was involved with his JHP properties. To say the least, it involved himself and some minors and some allegations that were not cool with me. So I removed myself from every bit of that. And yeah, that's basically how that went, just to be 100% honest.
That is awesome. So to switch gears a little into your comic here.
All right.
So so from what I heard earlier when you were on your live earlier, so you said there was a something you had in your mind that you wanted to do like years ago. So tell me what got the gears starting for you, like I'm gonna go through with this now at this point.
Well, a lot of it, especially when it comes to like horror anthologies, is about being around the right people. And yeah, this is something that I've had in my head for a while. This is something that I've really wanted to do. Being a Tales of Tales or a huge fan of Tales from the Crypt and Easy Comics, it was a huge inspiration on the majority of my entire life. I mean, the comics were readily available in the 90s for somebody my age. when they were doing reprints, and then you're able to go back and get some of the older ones. But I mean, it's just a huge part of my life, and after just being inspired for so long and just loving every single bit of everything that I was part of, I really wanted to do something in kind of like the EC vein. And it was about waiting till I had the right people around me. And one of my co-hosts for my other show, 2G1C, which airs in between episodes of Tales from the Podcast, where we do horror films,
Okay.
I had him involved with it. A friend of mine, Ron Perty, and I ended up meeting this incredible artist, Drew Moreland, and that was like the final nail in the coffin, if you will. She went to art school over at Douglas, the art school out in Pittsburgh, where Tom Savini does a lot of his work. For those who don't know, Tom Savini did stuff like the remake of Night of the Living Dead. He was in From Dusk Till Dawn. He's an extremely prolific filmmaker and special effects artist. So having somebody with that kind of talent behind this comic book really helped me decide, like, yeah, I want her involved. And I asked her, and she was 100% down with doing the project with me. So as soon as that happened, I got to work getting everything ready and sent over to her. And over the last 2 months, she's actually hand drawn every panel, every frame, all the covers. And some of the covers, the main cover, for instance, is actually hand painted, which a lot of those things don't exist these days. Everybody uses computer graphics to do basically everything I just mentioned. So having like that whole ode to EC comics from the 50s and it being done in the same kind of fashion was something super appealing to me. And I was very lucky to find somebody who could actually do that.
Now, hearing that there is a reason why we need to support these artists out here, guys, because it makes a big difference, and to see somebody go through that much work and put that much work into something will make the whole moment more special, is what I would call it, or my clink clink moments is what I would call it when I'm drinking.
You're right. And on the Kickstarter, there's actually 3 time-lapse videos. So you can actually see firsthand the work that she did.
That's amazing. So I'm asking for podcast, sorry. The comic is called Tales of Shock and Terror.
Yes.
And it's 3 small stories. So for the ones who doesn't know, or it's like say I'm interested in doing a comic book, like how did you get the process started? So like, did you write the story first, or did you just have a concept, or like how did it all just like come together like that?
Well, me personally, like the stuff that I was able to write and put together for it was stuff that I already had the story done, but I had it done in a script format for making a short film. And it was easy for me to adapt it over to doing like a comic book script, which is a little bit different than just writing a story, because you're not just telling a story, but you're showing a story in the same way. So you're having to write down what's going on in every panel and things like that, and putting in the story and who's saying what when they're saying it. So the format for it's a little bit different. I will say that because of everything I do podcasting, I get a lot of indie writers, indie artists on my show to begin with. And one of them I was very lucky to meet is my good friend now, Josh Nealis from Cutthroat Comics and Publishing. And through him, I was able to not only get a lot of the information that I needed to make this the best project I could, but he was able to actually pick me up under his Cutthroat Comics logo. And so I actually have a publishing company behind the project as well because of that. So, I mean, in a lot of sense, to answer your question, I got really lucky with who I know. But the main process of writing it was something that I was lucky enough to already have a really good idea of what I wanted to do. I will say that it is a very dark story, the one that I wrote. It is kind of gruesome in a way, but if you're a horror fan, you are going to love every second of it.
Oh, I'm so ready for this to drop. I'm ready for this, and then hopefully this leads to actual movie version also, because I'm all in at this point.
Well, I'm lucky there too, because our artist Drew Moreland actually runs Panic Terror Films. So, I mean, we're already in talks about possibly turning it into an anthology series. So, I mean, we got to see how things go, take it one step at a time, obviously, but we both have a lot of faith in the project that we've done, and we're hoping the best for it.
And so the one of the questions I got for you, so like for like the artwork that's like on the t-shirts and the pants and stuff, is that some of the artwork that's in the comic book, or that's just something totally different?
Yes, you're talking about like the wraparound shirts and stuff that I
Y-
posted
y-
in there and made.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually went through, and after a lot of the pages were done, I individually took out panels and I designed those myself. I had to change like the DPI and some of the images and stuff, and then square it off and get it actually set. But those are all real panels from it. So what you're seeing is actually kind of like, if you get one of those shirts, you're actually kind of in a way getting a preview of some of the stories.
That's all. And by the what is the website for the shirts?
The shirts are actually over on the Teespring, and the website's a little weird because it's like my dash store dash 11572847 dot creator dash spring.com. But if you go over and check out everything that's going on with Tales from the Podcast on Facebook and check and like the page, you'll see everything there because I post it all the time, and all that stuff can be found even at my website, like talesfromthepodcast.com. I try my best to keep it as up to date and keeping links on there. So yeah.
Your memory is like off the chain. Like, how did you memorize?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
To say the least, my day job, I work for the post office and I have to remember numbers for like 600 places and names attached to every one of them. I just got one of those heads. Honestly, it drives my wife nuts because she's like, well, I got to do this. Then I'm like, well, you said the other day it's actually this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So yeah, it causes some issues in life too. You don't want a memory like mine. Trust me.
Oh, wow. Okay. I would note that. So, so for the Kickstarter, I'm looking at the different things right now. So, um, when they pledge to this, do this come with a copy of the comic book, or is it like discounted for them?
Yeah. Well, it depends on what you're pledging at and everything, but the $4 pledge will get you a copy digitally. So you won't get an actual physical copy, but you will get a digital one.
Okay.
For $5, you can get the physical copy. So I strongly suggest, getting the physical one if you can. It's always cooler to have something actually in your hands, I think personally.
I agree.
Obviously there is some shipping involved, which, that's just is how it is, unfortunately. You can get the 3 variant covers if you want them individually at $10 a piece, or like one of the special deals we're running is at $25. You can get a copy of all 4 covers. We also have a couple of dealer incentives. So for people that actually have like comic shops and stuff, for $40, you can get 2 copies of every one. And for $75, you can get 4 copies. And then also for $75, our artist Drew Moreland is actually doing 5, and it's limited to 5 monster drawings. So you can get those as well on there too. But yeah, any kind of pledges on there will actually get you things. There is a donation link for those who just want to support and not get anything. But I mean, if you're gonna do it, I want to give you something. So, I greatly appreciate any and everybody who does go there and pledge. And it's Kickstarter. So if I don't hit it, I don't get it. That's simple. So we're hoping for the best. And I mean, first day, peeling the curtain back a little bit, we launched it today and we're already over 30% funded. We don't need a lot to raise. I was able to fundraise other ways to get us close to where we needed to be. And we're not trying to become rich off of it. So I don't have the prices jacked up any crazy amount like some other ones out there. I'm trying to make it where it's something where horror fans all around can get something that they'll love.
I like how you push that right there. So where was I? All right. So you said that they get all 3 different covers when they get the $25 bundle, right?
4 covers.
Oh, 4 covers. Oh, it's 4.
Yeah, there's 4 books there. Yes.
What?
There's the standard cover, which is just it's a cover which has a little bit incorporated from every story. And
Okay.
then there's 3 short stories in the comic book itself. So there's actually one variant cover for each individual story. So, depending on, what you like or if you want them all, like honestly, not trying to be weird or, promote myself in any way, but for $10 you get one variant cover, for 25 you get 4 covers. I've kind of done what I can to try to make it where people can't resist that deal.
I agree with that. People get that $25 bundle, and if you can't support more, then do it. It's very easy to support people out here and get their help their dreams come true. Is like one of the things that we really support here on the podcast, and we try to do anything possible to help people reach their goals. Also, so I want to talk about your team a little. So when did you guys actually start this whole process? And should I say, how long has it taken you to get to this process here? So just like a 2-3 year thing.
Well, a lot of the stuff with my story and everything that I've thought about, it's been actually going on for a couple of years that I've really wanted to. For me, meeting the right people and getting it done. I mean, realistically, from the time I mentioned to the other people, like, hey, I want you guys involved with this, we're talking about 3.5, 4 months.
Well, you put this together in 4 months.
Yeah.
I wish I had your brain. Now I kind of wish I had it. It took me 3 months to come up with a name for this podcast. So I'm like,
oh wow, I had
so
the name for mine like within like 3 days. I had a few in mind, but I was like, I gotta check this out, see if anybody has it, blah blah blah. And yeah, I no, I just got one of those heads, I guess. I'm sorry.
so I believe so. Is it Chuck? I know you mentioned, is it Chuck,
Yes,
Drew? I
and
think I
Ron.
missed in Ron. Okay, so it was just you four that just created this whole thing.
Yes,
It
but
made this whole thing come to life, I should say. Or
yeah, but I mean, let's be honest. Like, I needed Josh Nealis there. He was a great inspiration and really pushed it with his help with us being under Cutthroat Comics. Like,
okay,
yeah, he didn't write or do the artwork, but I mean, he's been there every step along the way, and he's done some editing for us to make sure things seem good while on paper. And he's the one that had more experience, so
okay.
he was somebody good to keep on hand. So I, like, yeah, it was us four, but he deserves just as much credit as we do.
That yeah. I think just the people who are, like you said, that muse or support or inspiration does deserve a lot more credit for helping things come to life as we know it. So
Right.
what is the next steps, or when would people start receiving their oh, I see it here, estimated by May.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like, I wanted to give extra time for stuff like this. Kickstarter is going to run for 45 days. And it's honestly because I have a lot of friends personally that they only get paid on the first of the month. And, we all have those kinds of friends where,
Mm-hmm.
the money's limited. So we wanted to make sure that we actually had this Kickstarter running for a minimum of 2 first of the month to make sure anybody and everybody who wanted to be able to get a chance at it was able to. And then I wanted to give a little bit of extra time there as well, because unfortunately with everything with COVID, there's printing delays, paper delays, not to mention when you're using Kickstarter, once it's over, it's not like I get the money instantly. It has to collect all the money from everybody once it's accepted, and then it gets sent to me. So it's just one of those things where it just takes a little bit of time to get everything in hand, but once it is there, I am determined to push them out as quick as I possibly can. Depending, we do have stretch goals, which we're going to make it take a little bit longer, because
Okay.
if I have to sign every book, I mean, it might take a little bit of time.
So
But
that's another thing, was actually, was you going to sign it, and then are there going to be like a part two to the series of
uh,
stories?
if this goes good, we would love to do a part two. Me and the artist have personally been talking quite a bit about that, and we have a lot of really cool things in mind. Um, as far as anything else, we got some stretch goals to really try to entice people that have already purchased it to share it. And because the more money this is able to bring in, the more things that we can do for other people. And one of the stretch goals is for me to sign them all. And I'm lucky where our publisher, Josh, actually lives not too far from me. So another one of the stretch goals is to get him to sign them all. And then for one of the other stretch goals, he's actually, our publisher, Josh, is going to be donating digital copies of one of his comic books. So if we hit our $700 stretch goal, everybody gets a free digital copy of that. And then my good buddy Chuck Nasty, we like to call him Chuckles McNasty because this is fun. But we decided to come up with this idea called Nasty Sketch Cards. So if we hit $800, he's going to draw some nasty little sketches for people. We're going to send them out with every comic book. And then if we hit $1,000, we're going to do some pens. And, you know, if we get that far and further, I'll be adding more stuff to it because the more money we do, like I said, the more I can buy and do for everybody else. So we're thinking like the buttons or pens would be a really cool idea. You know, a lot of people these days collect that kind of stuff. If we go any farther, we're thinking maybe like some magnets or, you know, just some weird kind of merch to be able to put in there and keep it still kind of horror themed.
I like that you guys have thought that far ahead. And I like the idea. That is good business, guys, for you guys that's listening and go watch this on YouTube. That is good business to give the people more. If you help raise more, then give the people more. Like, I love that's such a good business idea.
Well, it tries to get everybody involved. Like, you know, if like say hypothetically you went and purchased one of them and you're like, well, I really want this signed. It's like, well, yeah, I could probably bug him and see if he'll sign it for me. Or I could share it and just have everybody get it signed. And, you know, I mean, there's so many stretch goals that like, who knows which one's the one that you want.
That is true. I know I'm definitely getting my copies of it. Make sure you guys get your copies of it.
Thank you.
Justin, JB, make sure I'm all over the place. Sorry.
You're all good, man. You're all good.
Thank you for having it, stopping in and talking to me about your comic and your podcast. I've obsessively have listened to the podcast. I still have to go back and listen to season 1. For some reason, I thought I started at the beginning. Because normally I find a new podcast, I started at the beginning, but somehow I ended up on your second season somehow. So like, now I got to go back and listen to the first season now.
The first season only has 6 episodes, but within the first season, I actually had John Kassir on, who is the voice of the Crypt Keeper. So you missed out on that part of it.
Oh, see, I definitely got to go back and get caught up now. Now I have to now, because I like when I discover a new podcast, I like to go back to the first episode. And then over the time, you hear the progression of the learning process and how they change things, and how the podcast got better over time. So yeah, I feel like I missed out now.
Yeah. Well, it's every podcast. I mean, let's be 100% honest. The first 10, 15 episodes of everybody's podcast really sucks. You know, I'm a podcaster. I'm saying that about my own. You know, maybe not everyone. I'm sure some people have done a great job from the get-go, but me, no, the first little bit sucked. I give it what it is, but it takes a while to find your groove. But once you do and you really get into it, it sure is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've recently discovered with mine's people like the drunk version of me on here for some reason.
Right. And you can expand on that. Go for hard drugs. No, I'm joking.
I think my family would kill me if I do that. I'm probably not the only one who doesn't do any. So they will probably kill me.
No, I get it. Like I work for the government. I really shouldn't even be saying that stuff. I'm gonna go before I can get tested now. No.
Oh no. Justin, thank you so much for joining Same Cast Different Day podcast. Guys, make sure you guys head over to his Kickstarter. I will post all the links in the description of the podcast on the audio version and also on the YouTube version, where you guys can go and head over and support Justin with his Tales of, oh my God, why can I never get the name out right? Tales of Shock and Horror.
Tales of Shock and Terror.
Oh, right. Tales of Shock and Terror. Crap.
It's okay. My publisher messed it up on something he did too.
Like, this is tired version of me, so I'm sorry, because I'm normally not working on this hard on a Wednesday.
I get it, man. I've done multiple appearances today, so I fully understand.
And for you working for the post office, I don't know how you managed to do that. Like I complained about getting up at 5 o'clock, so I don't know how you manage.
It's fun. It's fun. It could be much worse.
True. Justin, thank you for stopping by. Hopefully we get you on in a future episode after the comic release so we can talk to you about all your successes that's going to come after this. So thank you so much for joining.
Hopefully there is success, and thank you so much for having me, man. It's greatly appreciated.
You're welcome. It's been awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Justin, aka JB from Tales from the Podcast. Make sure y'all go check out his podcast and don't forget to support his comic book. His link will be in the description of this video. Of this video on YouTube and the audio version of the podcast when this episode drops. So that's make sure y'all go check it out. That's Justin from Tales from the Podcast, and his comic book is Tales of Shock and Horror. I believe horror. I always mess up the title.
That's why I thought that you said horror.
Yeah, it's Tales from Shock and Horror. Horror.
Okay.
I'm just gonna stop. Justin, I'm sorry for butchering it. I am sorry. Oh my god, I am. I totally butchered that all the way.
Well, there's something about saying horror you like saying anyway. So
I mean, yeah, ain't nothing wrong with bringing out the inner hole sometimes. I'm just saying. So, speaking of, my ears is not acting right. There we go. So, speaking of family drama, y'all, it is some family drama going on in the Carey family, and this is involving the court system. So, if y'all are not familiar, Mariah Carey came out with a memoir last year called The Meaning of Mariah Carey. And in that book, she talked about her brother, her sister, her father, her mother. She did basically a tell-all book about her life in this book. And in this book, even though she said that it didn't mean it in that kind of way, but so basically her brother is suing her for defamation. He's saying that her Mariah Carey portrayed him in a way that has helped that has hurt his reputation. First of all, brother, because I don't even know what your name is, to be honest. That just show how relevant you are. So I don't know how your reputation is damaged. But, sir, nobody really knew of who you are. Nobody really know who you are. Like, unless they go Google a picture of Mariah Carey Brother, and it's only about 4 or 5 pictures of y'all anyway. So it's like nobody really knows who you are. So I don't understand how this is damaging your reputation whatsoever. And then, first of all, if anything, you should do your own tell-all book about Mariah Carey. How about that? Go do your own tell-all book about your business and put it out there and sell it and make your own money, and then see what happens. I'm just saying, like, so he's suing her because she's saying that he's getting into heated fights with their father all the time. So her father and him used to have like these heated battles where it was like fist fight, and she was saying like she was exposed to violence at a young age because of her brother and her dad not having this very tumultuous relationship with each other. She said there's one time where she believe he gave like some white powder substances to people at one point. So she, without saying that he was selling drugs, but she said she didn't mean it in that kind of way that he was selling drugs. So he took it in the ways that Mariah was labeling him as a drug dealer to try and to basically label him as a drug dealer, making him look like he was just this horrible person when he was younger.
Well, if he was dealing or giving away powder, some kind of powder substance,
yeah,
what the fuck is that?
In her book, she referred to it as a white powder substance.
Either it was pills, it was drugs. What did they do with it? Did they snort it too? Did they shoot it?
Well, she said at the time she was very young, so she don't know, I guess, what they were doing with it, because I know Mariah is 50, 52, so I know he's about 10 years older than her. So he's in his 60s at this point. So, and I'm pretty sure, like, so I believe Mariah was born in 71 or something like that. So I'm at this point, it's like if she's around 10 or something like that, this is probably around sometime in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, and stuff was going on. So we know what was going on in that time period. Especially when you mention white powder substance. So the judge is ruling with the brother and letting this all play out in court, saying he do have a case, but he has a reason to bring it to court and and to put whatever he has to say on without ever out there to try to win his lawsuit or whatever. My whole thing is though, and they said it was 8 other passages in the book too that he was trying to sue her over, but I guess all those got tossed out. Because, and I believe one of the passages he was probably talking to when he tried to have her committed into a mental institute during right after I believe this is right after the Glitter movie came out, and she was having this whole breakdown or whatever. If you're not familiar with that, so Tommy Mottola, basically Mariah Carey is working on movie Glitter, and her ex-husband, who was basically in charge of this movie, was basically kept changing the script, kept changing how the movie was supposed to be. He kept taking the music, changing the music, saying, no, this ain't gonna be the music. The original title track, which is Lover Boy, if you don't know, she sampled Cameo's how did that song go? I just know he goes strawberry, raspberry, all those good things, violets and guns. So he sampled that. She sampled the beat from that song.
Don't quit your day job.
Oh, whatever. But she sampled that song there, and he took that the original beat that she was going to use was going to be a whole different band. He took that and gave it to Jennifer Lopez, and then so she had to revamp the whole thing. So basically, in a way, she was like her ex-husband caused the whole situation to basically the movie to flop and the album to flop and there all this other kind of stuff to happen. And then she was scheduled to make all these appearances and talk and sing and do all these other things. She was like, I don't want to do it. All I want to do is just rest and sleep. She went to her mother's house and she went upstairs to one of the rooms of her mother's house. And she just basically said, I went to sleep. I turned my phone off and everything. Record executives and all these higher up people came looking for her, knocked at her mother's door. She yelled at her mother. Her mother called the police, had Mariah arrested. And then her brother had her tried to have her committed into a mental health facility at that time and all that stuff. So, and then she, at one point, she said her family treated her like a ATM machine with a wig on. So, which I couldn't believe it. So, it was just like she always had this horrible relationship with her siblings that she talked about in her book, and basically her siblings are trying to sue her and get some money over it. Which I really don't understand. Why are you? I mean, what's the point? Like, this is y'all younger sister. Mariah is the youngest of 3. I'm like, if y'all just need some money, just ask her for it.
She probably ain't gonna give it to him.
And I said that, and that's what I was thinking. Like, she probably didn't want to get in the money, so this the only way they can get some money from her.
And to make herself relevant, because I thought that she just had sisters or something.
Yeah, she got one sister, one older sister, and one brother. And her older sister, she said at one point tried to pimp her out to her boyfriend at the time. And I think Mariah said she was around 14 at that time. She said her older sister used to come and pick her up, and they ride around her. She would ride around the car with her sister and her sister boyfriend, and her sister boyfriend, the sister and the boyfriend let Mariah smoke cigarettes and do all this other kind of stuff. And he, I guess he wanted to do some sexual stuff with Mariah, and the sister was trying to pimp out Mariah to her own boyfriend at that time. Now, Mariah never mentioned a boyfriend name, so don't ask me who the man was. I don't know. But to sue your own sister, though, I mean, come on, man. Like, come on. Just stop talking. Just have a relationship. I guess to keep I guess, like you said, money. That's the only way I can see it. I don't even know how much he's suing for it at this point.
Well, she can't go get Johnny Cochran. She might as well get a Cosby lawyer.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that her lawyer is gonna be better than his lawyer. So
better than who lawyers?
Her brother lawyers. Her
Oh
brother,
yeah.
like, cause I remember, I think at one point she was saying her brother was like a music teacher or some type of school teacher or something like that. So we know he ain't got no big money. I mean, come on, that damn near that whole family is living off of Mariah Carey's bank account at this point.
Yeah, but some of these good lawyers will jump on something like that for a quick paycheck.
Oh yeah, like for a settlement or whatever. But I don't think she's gonna settle. Like Mariah tends to not settle court cases unless she don't want to deal with them and deal with the court appearances. She'd be like, okay, most of her court cases, she's went to court and fought it all out in court. And then she, at this point, she says she's not planning on doing no touring or anything. So she had nothing but time in her hands at this point to go to court. So we'll keep y'all posted on this story. So the next story that's been itching Old Man Theater, and it has been itching him and itching him and itching him, and it has pissed him off. And it's this lady, for y'all who are watching on the video version, it's this lady that's right here behind me.
With that Carl, oh, he might want to sue me. Carl Rittenauer face.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to talk about, we gonna add that in too. We gonna get to Mr. Rittenhouse later. So for those of you who don't know, this is Kim Potter is her name. And she is the person who shot the young man Dante Wright. I believe this was back in 2020. I believe this happened.
Something like that, yeah.
This is like a few months after the Jacob Blake and George Floyd incident had happened. And she is a former police officer in Minneapolis, Minnesota, I believe. And she shot and killed Dante Wright. And she only received 2 years in prison. 2 years.
That's messed up.
2 years. Like, hopefully Derek, whatever his name is, get more. And the thing is, how did she get sentenced before him? Now that I think about it. Because we don't even know what he got sentenced to yet.
They still trying to send the rest of them cops in the George Floyd thing, but they gonna get more time than that. This is murder. What other way is it to look at it?
And I've said on previous podcast episodes, like, yes, if this young man would have went peacefully, he would still be alive. Yes, but still at the same time, you should know the difference between a gun and a taser. And you had plenty enough time. That thing was in your hand for plenty enough time for you to recognize that it wasn't a gun, and you still continued to point that gun, and you shot and killed the young man. Now, one time did he even present a weapon? From the video that I saw, I didn't see him even have a weapon out or anything. So for you to even for y'all to even go that far, I feel it's a bit ridiculous. And then if that's the case, then like I said, y'all could have just went in to let him let him get in the car or whatever. He got back in the car or whatever. Y'all could just speed up, do about things, just go into tracking mode, just track them. Because eventually y'all gonna catch up with him again. I'm pretty sure he ain't got no money to buy another car or go get another car and register it. So I'm pretty sure eventually down the line he's gonna be driving that car again, and he's gonna get pulled over again. And all y'all have to do at that time, like, oh yeah, we flagged this car, let's pull him over, and then instead of coming up to his car and talk to him, we just order him out the car right away. Boom, you got him. He's in jail. He's serving his time for what he did. But instead, y'all went about it this way and killed this, and you woman killed this man.
That was just another episode, different settings, but another episode of like what's his name that got shot up in Kenosha? George Blake?
Jacob Blake.
Jacob Blake, I mean. Yeah, it was just another episode of that, but the whole thing about this is, I mean, if he had to live after she shot him, he would still get some kind of charge for resisting.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even though she didn't mean to supposedly didn't mean to pull the pistol out and shoot him, but he would still got a charge, and you're going to get 2 years. 2 years, you can sit at home on your couch.
Mm-hmm.
And if she does the full 2 years, because that's no time.
But she not even going to serve a full 2 years because she basically been in jail this whole trial. So she's technically been in jail a year already since this happened. Since she's been arrested. So technically she served a year already. So she's only gonna be in jail for a year and be right back on the streets.
Good behavior.
It's not even good behavior because like once your time starts, like whatever you get sentenced to, say like, oh, you've already you've been locked up for 3 years during your whole trial and everything. You've been locked up, like you've been in jail for literally for 3 years. So if you get sentenced to 5 years in jail, you've already served 3 of those years already during the trial, basically. So this whole time while she was in trial and in jail, she was already serving her first year already. So now that she's been sentenced to 2 years in prison, she only has a year left to serve. So what lesson is she learning?
If that.
Right.
I don't think she's gonna see the inside. I think it's gonna wind up being something different to where, okay, well, it's just a year. Why should we waste the space for a year dealing with her? We can lock some other
go find
person.
another black person and lock them up for 10 to 20 years to life.
I didn't want to say it like that, but yeah,
that's how it be. Watch,
yeah.
I shouldn't say a black person. A brown or minority person locked them. They locked them up for 10 to 20 years for selling a nickel bag of weed.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yep.
That's just the system that we live in today. It's the hatred that still goes towards brown people today. And speaking of hatred towards brown people, Kyle Rittenhouse. I don't know how this man got away with being a murderer in the public eye.
Wait a minute. Before you get to talking about him, just wait. Yeah. Okay. Finish. My team. Finish.
So I don't know how Kyle Rittenhouse got away with being a public racist on top of that, because I don't understand how you claim to be how you claim to not be a racist and yet wait. I honestly understand how you claim to not be a racist, but yet when you Google Kyle Rittenhouse, you really don't see him with no black people. Have you any of y'all seen around black people? I haven't seen him around black people.
I don't think his team is black.
No, nobody on his team was black. Oh, I just did something stupid. Yeah, nobody on his team was black. So I'm like, I just don't get how he was able to get off with the things that he did. And then now on top of that, he's trying to sue. By the way, this is for y'all who watch it on the video version.
Ooh.
Just for y'all, hopefully y'all can see that. Right? Look, y'all see that? Yeah. Oh my God, Theater. But so he's trying to sue. He said he's gonna sue a lot of people who are in media. People like Whoopi Goldberg. At one point, he was beefing with LeBron James. So what? He gonna try to file a lawsuit against LeBron James because everybody was talking about your dumbass. People was talking about how this white privileged American kid who showed his support for Donald Trump, and Donald Trump helped this kid get off with murder. But yet this is the same man in 2024 that people are trying to elect as president again, a man who helped somebody get off with murder. And the reason why he got off with murder is because these people are considered PWT, that he shot and killed. Do y'all know what PWT stand for in the white community? Poor white trash. And because they was considered poor white trash, that's why Kyle Rittenhouse got away with murder. Now, let this have been some people, these people came from families with money, with now I wouldn't say millionaires. They could have been some 100,000aires. Let them be in some family members like that, and I guarantee y'all, he wouldn't have got away with murder.
Yeah, that is so true, so true, and not to just say the word out there, they was considered as niggers.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom line is because they was out there along with the protests, so they wasn't out there for the same thing that Kyle was out there for. Bottom line, so they was considered. If it would have been one of us, it would have been a quicker out thing. It's just that the only thing that made this carry on because they did have a different skin color, but other than that, they were still considered niggers.
You have to say it like that.
Being just
I
straight
mean,
up and truthful, racism is never. I don't care what nobody say. They can talk about diversity of the kazoo. It's not going to change because you got too many of these Uncle Tom uh, people out here, and we got. I mean, we got some of our people that's against us, but it's just too much. Too much of that out here. Been out here for years. Been out here forever. To where they're not gonna change. Not. I mean, they throw it out there, but ain't nothing gonna change. Ain't nothing gonna change.
Not until we get the right people who care to make a change. And that's when the change is gonna happen. Oh, okay. I thought I saw some order on my screen, y'all. I'm tweaking. Don't mind me. I'm over here tweaking like old man theater was.
What the whole thing about that is the only way to get any change, and this may be a bad way of putting it. You got to kill off all them racist people, and I'm not just saying on the white side, black side too. You got to kill off all of them. You got to pick them out to litter.
You know, speaking of people on the black side, I'm trying to make it for y'all can see this idiot picture too, by the way. There you go, right there. I want y'all to see that because you know what? That's a piece of shit right there. For y'all who watch, I'm sorry for y'all who watch on the audio version, y'all can't see this, but this is a piece of shit right here. I just want to make sure that it's known. And you can try to sue me all you want to, Kyle Rittenhouse. You still a piece of shit, and I'm gonna keep saying it. I will go in that courtroom and say you were a piece of shit. So speaking of, you know, one thing that really bothers me when you talk about even the black people who are racist towards black people. You know what I don't like? Black people who's ashamed of being black. And that bothers me so much. And it's something that work at the workplace that we work at, because it's a certain nurse on a third floor unit somewhere. I ain't gonna say which third floor unit, but it's a certain nurse on a third floor unit who just thinks that she is just so like, girl, they would throw you under the bus so fast. Like, you think you white, they would throw you under the bus so fast. She try to talk like them. She try to be like them. She trying to be everything as white as possible. Like, girl, you just as black as me, if not blacker. And you got the nerves to sit up here and try to think you better than somebody. No, you're not. She want to live in the best, like she want to live out there by him. She want to, probably want to marry one. Like, I don't get why do you hate the color of your skin tone so much? And even for some of our celebrities, like some of them, they so like, oh well, because I'm dark, I'm not gonna get as many opportunities. So these people literally go bleach their skin to become either a yellow person or just become completely white, and they gonna get their skin bleached, change their eye color to look like how they want you to look. Like, no. Like, we need to stop being ashamed of our natural hairs, our natural looks, our skin tone. Y'all need to stop it, people. Y'all need to stop it. This one dread right here just don't want to act right. And it's all old man theater fault, y'all. And if I hear one more old person joke, he going in the home.
Well, we already said, me and your mom already setting something up for you anyway. But anybody that's listening on the podcast, you're more than welcome to send us ideas on where to send them. Someplace that's really secure, because he can break out a place, especially when he has a need for his wine. So
you are evil.
or it could be a place close to a liquor store. Just make sure that they got his brand.
No, I don't think they carry my brand of alcohol here. I'm just
we can make it shipped there. We can have it shipped there.
So I have to put aluminum foil. I have to be ghetto, y'all, because I never finished this bottle of champagne. So I have to put aluminum foil on there because I have no idea where the cork went. the little thing that goes in there. I don't know where it went, and I don't know where my other thing went that goes in there to keep it fresh. Whatever, but it worked. The aluminum foil worked, people. I forgot where I was at.
We're still talking about the jerk. And no, we're talking about how people.
The black people that's scared of being black.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at some point, y'all need to stop hating yourselves. Just be happy that y'all black, because black is beautiful. And make sure y'all remember that. That's all I got to say about that. But go ahead, Theta.
Some people just can't help themselves. Me myself, when I see stuff like that, I laugh because it's man.
It's funny to us who are okay with how our skin tone and stuff. It's funny to us when we see people who are uncomfortable with their skin tone act the way they do. It's just funny. Speaking of moving along, before we go, if you're off way before I even get into that, so my birthday was on Monday, y'all. That's why old man Theater keep calling me old.
Woo!
What? So I finally made it to another decade, and I don't know what it has in store yet.
A home.
You older than me. You should be going into a home first.
Yeah, but we need you off the streets. You're a menace to society right now.
You know, I ain't terrorized nobody. I ain't stole no kids. I ain't did nothing.
We will make sure that you got all the podcast equipment there so we can still put on the show, but we just need you off the streets.
I mean, I technically already live in an old folks' home already.
Yeah, watch it now.
I'm just
Your mom's my friend. Stop it.
Oh no, she as of this recording, tomorrow she leave for her cruise. She be gone for a whole week. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
Hopefully she come back with a plan so we can get rid of you before you go on yours.
She be talking about, whoo, my feet hurt. I'm tired. Shoo, this happened, that happened. This got on my nerves so bad. I'm here. I'm pretty sure I'm here all kinds of old lady stories. And speaking of y'all, so y'all can't see my shirt. This man right there. Oh crap, right there. That man right there is getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame finally. Woo! I'm excited. 30 long years. I'm so excited. 30 years actually it's 32 years in the making, but I'm excited. And don't forget, March 24th is Lord of Darkness Day, because that's his birthday. March.
Really?
Yeah. March 24th going forward is gonna be called Lord of Darkness Day. I'm happy I decided to put on shorts because I was gonna sit here in my underwear and do the podcast, and I just realized that I went a little bit too far down on the camera. They could have saw me sitting.
That was a little bit too much information. we would have had to bloop that one.
Well, if it helped get some views. But yeah, I have nothing else. Oh man, Theater, you got some thoughts for the people? Final thoughts?
Not really. Just love one another and pray for those people in Ukraine, and just pray for everybody.
Yes,
that's the best that I can say. I mean, because this world is going to hell in a handbag.
Going to hell in a handbag.
And gas prices are too damn high. Well, food too. Anybody got questions, I could use it.
However, say food and gas prices is too damn high. Hell, I feel, you know what? I used to I think I paid like $3.25 for gas the other day. And so y'all see, for us in the Midwest, that's a lot of money because I think when gas got to its highest, I think the highest we paid for gas is maybe $4.01, $4.05 at the most at one point for gas. So gas, this is high for for us. Can we get back gas back down to $1.99 because that at $5 be gas money again for people who want to ride. So now if you want to ride now, you for just go at least 10 blocks, you have to pay at least $20 in gas. I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, we had $1.99. What was that? Our stash gas that they put out here when I went and filled up all my vehicles.
Yeah, that's when we use the oil that America goes and drill and pump out. That we just have a bunch of oil that's just sitting somewhere in a warehouse somewhere that's not being used for nothing, just sitting there. And a lot of our gas is being made from oil overseas. They get shipped here. So that's why our gas prices are ridiculously high because we are relying mostly on overseas oil to make our gas, which is
Yeah,
very
and they
cheap.
won't open up our shit to give the help. That's one way of Biden. He's talking about helping with what's going on. Okay, open up the whatever pipeline that they was talking about.
Oh, the one
Get it
from
together.
Canada.
Yeah, get it together, and I mean, let's do it. Shit.
I mean, a lot of people are against it because it was like it's destroying the natural whatever that's around it. And what if it leaked? Was that pipe bust somewhere? Then we got a large oil leak that's just underground that could just do a whole bunch of damage to the environment. So that's why a lot of people don't want that pipeline. And if it do leak, so then that do pipeline do say to burst or leak or whatever, how are they to track where it actually broke at? Because you got to think this pipeline is going from Canada all the way down to Texas or Arizona
Man,
somewhere.
I just go there with plastic bottles, cans, and every damn thing else.
But what is you gonna do with it though? Like, it ain't like you can.
They'll let shit up and just store it.
But what you gonna do with the oil? You ain't like you can be able to do something with it.
I figured out a way to I make it burn.
Lord have mercy.
But they just need to do something, man, because I mean the rich are still gonna be where they at, and we still we just getting worse. It's like bringing old slavery back again.
No, this reminds me of a TikTok video I saw where a guy was like, he was talking about, due to like the cost of living has gone up so much in the pandemic, and since the pandemic started, I should say, the cost of living has gone up so freaking much. And he's like, you see, and it's not affecting rich people. It's only affecting, the middle class or lower class people. And they was like, well, they saying the reason why, the price of food and everything is going up is because they have to increase pay because, the cost of living adjustment, whatever. So they got to increase pay. And due to that, they got to drive up prices in the stores and the prices of food and all this other prices got to get drawn up, goes up because of the amount of money they spending to pay people. But yet, they're still these large corporations and CEOs and all these people are still able to give themselves, these big, large $1 million bonuses and stuff every year. But yet you saying that your company is suffering due to the cost of everything going up, but you still giving yourself all these bonuses. So how is it affecting you? It's not affecting you whatsoever. And it is crazy because I feel like, yes, the cost of living has gone up such a way, but at the same time, like, especially for a lot of these like grocery store chains and like food production and all this kind of stuff, there's always going to be a supply and demand. There's always going to be a need for it. So it's not like you're going to be losing anything. It's not like people are going to be buying less because this is something that people need. It's something that people can't go without. So they're going to come to you for these products. So why constantly keep increasing the prices if people are going to go to you? If anything, right now, a smart business decision right now will actually be to lower your prices of some of the stuff while some of these other prices are going up, and watch how all them people flock to your stores or flock to whatever your products is. That's what y'all need to be doing for some of you large companies, and watch how many people flock to go buy the stuff. That's all I'm saying.
but that'd be too much like right.
True.
You know, if they did something like that, they'd be helping out us poor niggas.
Lord have
And they
mercy.
don't want to do that.
They
I mean,
don't.
and that's those of you that's listening, understand me when I say niggas. I mean black, white, Puerto Rican, all races. That's what I mean. I'm just not saying because my color is not black. Technically, it's brown,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not stating my race or whatever have you. The label they give us African American and all this other stuff. I'm just a brown man.
Mm-hmm.
I put it like that. But when I say niggers, that's what I mean. All races. Because I mean, that's what I was told and brought up with that a nigger could be black, white, Mexican, Puerto Rican, or whatever have you. And I'm far from being a nigger because I'm neither ignorant. I may not be as smart as the next damn person, but I'm neither ignorant, stupid, or anything like that. So, but that's the label that they have for us. But
That's true.
no, I don't know.
Alrighty, well, ladies and gentlemen, before we go, as always, y'all know I got them deals to throw at y'all. But before we get into that, don't forget to head over to check out if he's available on Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. That's Justin from Tales from the Podcast. And make sure you guys click on that link below and go check out his Kickstarter. Donate to his Kickstarter, whether it's $1, $2, $3, $5. And the Kickstarter doesn't end for like another 30 or 40 some days. So that money will not get pulled out of your account until that Kickstarter actually ends. So make sure you got time to at least save up $5 to help support this man and help him get his comic book out there. So make sure you guys click on his Kickstarter below and check him out. That's Justin from Tales from the Podcast, and his comic is Tales of Shock and Horror. So make sure you guys go and check that out. And also the deals. If you're looking for some fresh new gear, like Old Man Theater, because he always like to buy clothes. So if you like some fresh new gear,
I just got a fresh jogging suit in. It's smoking, baby.
see what I'm talking about? Head over to habit365.com and use code Anthony4 to receive 20% off your purchase. I couldn't remember how much the percentage was off. I'm sorry, guys. 20% off your purchase. That's habits365.com. And for those of you who in need of energy drinks and protein shakes and powders to get you through your day, whether it's a workout, you're a school teacher, a fireman, whatever your job may be, they have a product for you. Head over to repsports.com and use code Martel1 to receive 10% off your purchase. And for the LGBTQIA community, because I know a lot of y'all like these products, if you're looking for new underwear, jock straps, tidy whities, boxer briefs,
Thongs, no.
They might have thongs. I don't know. They might have thongs on there. I know they got t-shirts, socks, hats. Head over to bearskn.com. That is bearskn.com, bearskin, and use code AnthonyB to receive 5% off your purchases. Thank you all, everybody.
And
if
anybody's looking for a part-time job, just temporarily, we are looking for a couple of snow shovelers, and I mean, to take care of this 4 to 6 inches by tomorrow evening. And a great deal of it is you get very little cash. I don't carry cash on me, but very little cash. I get you a bottle of wine and some next year Christmas lights at a very near discount. All you got to do is just hit me, Theo B, and I can make it happen. Your house will be looking beautiful. And I'm throwing a bottle of fresh wine. Well, while you're out there shoveling, if it's kind of cool, I would even bring your glass out to you. So if you're looking for a job, like I said, make a few bucks. Won't be a lot. Get a little tipsy at the same time and take home a bundle of Christmas lights.
You is gonna quit trying to steal my Christmas lights and my wine. What is wrong with you?
I'm just saying. That's yours truly coming from Theo with the capital B.
Oh Lord.
Right here, baby.
Lord have mercy. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to check us out on social medias. The main social media, go check us out on is facebook.com. Same cast different. Oh Lord, same cast different day on Facebook.
Can I give one more shout out in case my peeps get to see this, and I'm hoping that they do since we be putting it out there. I want to wish my daughter a happy birthday today too. She's a young 30, but I want to wish her a happy birthday. Candace, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Woo!
Oh no!
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Same Cast, Different Day Podcast, the #1 podcast in Wisconsin for millennials and Gen Zs. And you know what? We're going to add Gen X to that. So thank y'all so much for tuning into this episode. We'll see you all on Thursday. I believe the next episode drop. So see you all on Thursday.
Deuces!